TikTok live. 1 second, let me get you guys up on the screen over here. Alright, where are we? Are we live? Question mark. I'm not appearing. Oh, there we go. Now I'm appearing on my page. Alright, how are we looking from my computer? Okay, it's not too bad on my computer. I think this is the best angle I'm going to get today. But hello everyone, welcome back to another live stream. If you're not here before, my name is Elodie Dell. I'm the creator of the Thieves from Death, my own original manga series. Today I will be drawing page 34, I believe, out of 42 for chapter 12 of the manga. So obviously you can see we've got quite a lot of drawing of Fletcher and Larkin today. What's quite handy, I already had this newspaper clipping done from last page, so that was easy, just a copy and paste job into this page, which saved me a ton of time, so we didn't need to worry about that panel because that panel's already done. But we have everything else that we need to finish up today. Then I'm hoping to get that out, and then after this page I'll focus on the Halloween illustration, because Halloween is really not that far, folks. I think it's 5 days, so I really got to get an illustration done in the next 5 days. But I wanted to get this page done because currently the last page is up on Webtoon Canvas, but obviously the last page is quite a big newspaper article, so I wanted to get this page done. So if people check out the Webtoon, like if they go and preview like the latest page, they're not just going to be presented by like a newspaper clipping. I just felt like it felt wrong for people who are interested in checking it out, so I want to get this page out and then focus on the Halloween illustration, because obviously this page looks more interesting for a new reader than my latest page. So that's the reason why I want to do this first. Thank you so much for the like. Thank you so much. I'm going to completely butcher it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the like. But yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's quite nice and sunny today in the UK. You know, obviously it's not perfect. You know, but it's nice and sunny. Literally the sun was in my eyes this morning. And it was kind of blinding me when I was trying to finish up this sketch. Which was not good, but I mean, it's done. The sketch is done. Because I sketched these 3 panels out last night, and then this one I did this morning, very quickly, just to get it done. But yeah, we're going to work on this first panel first, so we've got Larkin and Fletcher here, so let's work on them first. I think it's easiest to do Fletcher here first, so let's do that. Bring us down, we'll draw his entire hand in. Hello. Hal, for sure. Okay, that's easier. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hal. How are you doing today, Hal? What do you use for making manga? I use Clip Studio Paint. The application I'm using is Clip Studio Paint, but specifically it's the Expert Edition of Clip Studio Paint, so comes with essentially just a few more fancy comic tools, but obviously that's a very expensive upgrade from the normal Clip Studio, so I would only ever really recommend upgrading if you're wanting to take comics more seriously. Apart from that, like you'll be fine on like base Clip Studio Paint. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't be able to live without this version of Clip anymore, but yeah, it's very expensive. Bring that down. Very fun. What about you? I'm doing well, thank you. I've filled with energy today. I don't know why. I think it might have something to do with the fact that we had like an extra hour today. Because obviously the clocks went back at like 2 o'clock last night here in the UK. So technically today is like a 25-hour day. So I do wonder if that's why I'm feeling a bit more energetic as per usual. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I feel good in myself. You know, for people who don't know, I was ill earlier this week. And I feel like now to like today, I feel like this is the energy level I usually have. You know, so. Alright, let's draw the rest of his coat in. Also, if you do hear some music, I do have some music going on in my headphones today. I usually, when I listen back to audio on my streams, because for people who don't know, I usually upload like the VODs for all my live streams onto YouTube. When I listen back to them, I never hear the music in my headphones, but I'm always like cautious that people might hear it. But usually I would play music, but I don't want to get like strucken down by like the TikTok gods or anything. So I've done that once before and I've never been like taken down for it, but like I don't want to risk it. And when I'm uploading those VODs to YouTube, I don't want to get like copyright stricken when uploading them. Right, let's bring that down there. I got to hear that. Thank you. Yeah, it said I'm feeling a lot better from my illness. Yeah, I don't feel ill at all anymore, which is great. Hopefully you can stay that way. But I'm back to work tomorrow anyway, so I'm glad I'm feeling so much better than I was this time last week. When I had to cancel going into work, I was horrendous on Monday and Tuesday last week. It was so bad. But I got like I'm coming back to like Green Week in the library service, so I gotta do like a green themed rhyme time. So I need to actually do some research for green themed songs for rhyme time that I'm doing. So I need to do some research on that today as well. But I'll do that after live stream. It's kind of pushed back to all of my plans that I was supposed to do last week, being ill. So. That down there. Right, and then we want to bring this newspaper out a bit more. Make that slightly thicker. Same with his hand, we want this to be thicker than anything else to make sure it's definitely not on the same layer as everything below. Hello Dylan, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the follow, Phantom, I appreciate it. And thank you so much for the follow as well, Barking Side Ghost. I really appreciate it. Dylan, yo, I'm aiming to make my own manga as well. Nice! It says it's always nice to see other people wanting to make their own manga as well. There's a few more of us appearing day by day, which is awesome. I hope your manga production is going well. Right, let's bring that slightly thicker that way too. Also, I know probably some people who are joining the stream. I hope you're all having a good half term if you're a student. Probably wanted that break sooner rather than later. So yeah, I'm hoping you're all having a good week as well if you're having half term. I got Formula 1 as well this afternoon. I'm going to watch Formula 1. I think it starts at 8 tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So I will be watching Formula 1. I won't spoil the qualifying in case people haven't seen qualifying, but very happy with the positioning. But yeah, I said I don't want to spoil. I do have comments about it, but I don't want to spoil people for quali for Formula 1. I'm not too sure which webtoons are better for manga comics to keep going with. I'm kind of like everywhere, so I have like a physical edition that people can buy with my comic, right? So this contains like the first 6 chapters. So I do have a physical book. I'm on Webtoon Canvas. Webtoon Canvas, I've definitely got the biggest audience on, despite me uploading page by page up there. But I've got a decent like audience reach on Manga Plus creators. Surprisingly good. I'll be honest, like Manga Plus Creators isn't really a great website to upload onto. And I feel like it's filled with other people who want to be manga creators, right? So I don't think it's an accurate reflection of actual readers, if you get what I mean. It's a bit deceiving, I think. Whilst I'm also on Global Comics, which Global Comics has like the highest quality page uploads, but I don't get nearly enough readers over on Global Comics, you know? Like there's some people who go and purely just read from there because they know it's the best quality, but those are like people who already read my comic, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do upload pretty much everywhere. You're doing on paper and not digital. That's cool. I said, I love watch. You know, some of my favorite TikTok videos is like watching people do like comics traditionally. Like I follow someone on TikTok who does like the Donald Duck comics, and it's so satisfying to watch them do that ink work. It's insane. I love their videos because it's like some chill like foreign music in the background, and they're just inking these Donald Duck comics, and it's so good. It's so good to watch. It's so satisfying. How do you stay motivated? I tried to start drawing manga and I gave up with a week, probably because I do use school. Actually, yeah, I'm just kind of obsessed with my characters. I'm gonna just bear in mind, like I've been working on this manga for like 3 years now or so. No, it will be 3 years in December. Since I started production on the Thieves of Stuff and Death. But I've had these characters for almost 10 years, if not 10 years already. So their stories have always been in my mind, and they've been living in my mind for like forever. And I literally can't stop thinking about them. But I kind of motivate myself with the fact that I want to get to like a certain scene, right? Like, the satisfaction to getting to a final, like a scene that you've always imagined in your mind motivates me to get there. So I think that's probably what motivates me most, is kind of just seeing my vision come to life, if that makes sense. I think that's probably the biggest motivator. Nah, I don't think there's an easy way to... like, motivation for everyone is very unique. But yeah, that's how I get motivated, at least, for myself. How many times do you stream? Depends. Like I said, like I think I've live streamed like 3 times so far this week. Usually I'm usually like 2 times a week live streaming. Depends on my energy and mood. Like for the last 2 weeks, I've been off because, one, I broke my ankle. I didn't break my ankle, I sprained my ankle, but I couldn't be at the desk for long periods of time. And then, if you were here earlier, I was talking about how I was ill last week. So that's why I didn't live stream for 2 weeks, but usually I live stream like maybe twice a week at random points. Usually it's in the middle of the day. Sometimes if you're lucky, it might be in the evenings. But yeah, I usually keep everyone up to date on my Discord in terms of like when I'm planning on going live and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately I don't have like a set timetable. I will just say, because some of my freelancing stuff with the webtoon script writing and stuff, it makes my schedule a little unpredictable, unfortunately. But like if things settle into place a bit more with that, then maybe I can actually do like a proper schedule at some point. But yeah, it's more like I'll bring it up on Discord when I'm planning on going live, you know. So hi, first time seeing your page. What's your comic about? Yeah, so my comic is about a downtrodden scientist called Larkin, who is this character here with the long hair, also the purple hair person on the front of volume 1. And essentially his work has been plagiarized by his boss. For people who don't know, Larkin's a scientific researcher, so he researches things to do with health and improving health. It's set in Victorian era England, and essentially one day Larkin discovers a book that leads him down a path of mystery, magic, and murder. And essentially one night Larkin gets attacked by a vampire, and he is saved by this person here called Fletcher, who's also the blonde character on the front of volume 1 as well. And essentially what they find out is that Larkin's been framed for the murder of his boss. So essentially the story is exploring this whole new supernatural world of magic and magical creatures, whilst trying to clear Larkin's name for murder. That's the general gist of it. Obviously, there's a lot more elements and plot beats and stuff, but that is the general gist of the Thieves of Neptune. Kind of think like if you like Black Butler, Moriarty the Patriot, Quesadilla Vanitas, The Grey Man, it's like those sort of vibes. If you like your detectives, Victorian era sort of stuff, you'll probably really like the Thieves from Death, or if you like your supernatural creatures, you should like the Thieves from Death. That's definitely the vibes I go for at least. So OMG, 3 years is so long. You know what, since I'm on half time, I'm going to try and start again. Yeah, I said, why not? I said, The thing is, I don't think there is like one way to do manga. The thing is, like, I used to, for like all the platforms that I release on, right? I used to release a chapter once it's done. This is still the case for like Manga Plus creators and Global Comics, but I release a page at a time now on Webtoon Canvas, which originally started with this 12th chapter actually. But my readers before had to wait like 2 months to 3 months for a chapter, so it's not unusual for a chapter to take a long time to do, especially if you're a one-man team like I am. So I do all the writing and all the art for all of this. So obviously it takes me quite a long time, but I feel a lot better uploading a page at a time on Webtoon Canvas. I feel like my readers appreciate it more, you know, even though it's kind of atypical, I guess, uploading a manga like that. But I find that works really well for my readers, you know, so they enjoy it a lot more, so. I was thinking of starting a light novel manga soon, but it would take a while. Yeah, it does take a while. These things do take a while. Like I said, I've been producing this for almost 3 years now. But I've drawn over 400 manga pages, and that includes all the writing for it. So it's been a long process. But like I said, I also work as a library assistant, and I also do freelance script writing for a webtoon project, which hopefully I can talk about soon. But I'm under NDA, so I can't talk about that too much, unfortunately. But I do have like other priorities over this. But obviously, even then, I've produced a lot of work for this over the years, right? So I try and dedicate a lot of my free time to this. I don't have a lot of other free time, honestly. Like, my free time is doing this. So alright, let's bring that up. Thank you so much for all the follows, folks. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's amazing. I'm going to go read it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy it. The title says Step of Hell? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Great work, by the way. I love your drawing. Thank you. It said, I'm not doing a really good job at showing you what my final work looks like when it's like this. Obviously, because when I'm doing line art. But this was like 2 pages ago. So this is kind of what a finished manga page looks like from me. So that's what we're trying to aim towards, folks. So we've got a while. We've got a while to go. Thank you so much for all the roses. Thank you so much, Oat Dog. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. When do you think you'll finish this? Chapter 12. It's the final chapter for this arc. So the first story arc will be done when this chapter's done. And then I will be working on arc 2. So technically, this is kind of like the final chapter for arc 1. So yeah, I guess that means like there's a story completed in that regard. So I will be finished in some regard, you know, with this chapter. What tablet do I use? I use a Cintiq 32. So it's by Wacom. I don't think they produce these anymore. The only way you can get them is secondhand, which is how I got this tablet. And I've got it for a really decent price, actually. But these can run secondhand for quite a lot, so it's just something to be wary of. But I mean, there's so many cheaper tablet brands out there now, like XP Pen, Huion. I've heard amazing things about XP Pen over Huion. So if you're looking for like a screen tablet that's decent quality, I'd definitely look at XP Pen, unless you can pick up like a Cintiq for a cheap price secondhand, you know. But those can really run you up the wall when it comes to spending money, right? So, but I saved a lot of money to afford this. I just looked at it. Great. Do you recommend starting one on paper and then doing it online, or just doing it online? Up to you. I know people who just do it traditionally. I know people who do it all digitally. My process is kind of like a mix. So usually I do like my storyboards, thumbnails, whatever you'd like to call it, traditionally. So I do it all in my sketchbook. And then I transfer those thumbnails to digital. And then I work from digital from there onwards. Everyone has like a different workflow. It is cheaper, I think, overall to work digital though, because manga supplies can be really expensive, especially if you're not someone who lives in Japan, right? So it's just something to consider. That's all. It's like your financial position, as well as what you most prefer working in. Right, if I bring that down there, draw the line in, draw shadows down there. Great. Okay, and let's just tidy this up. Okay, and then that's the rest of it can go down there. Yes, I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like my work. Thank you so much for the follow as well. How do I even pronounce it? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yahoo, what's going on, girl? What are you working on? Well, I'm working on my own manga at the moment. So I'm working on chapter 12 of my manga series at the moment. So that's what you're seeing me work on, is one of the panels for it. So I'm working on the first panel for this page currently. But yeah, we're trying to get to like this level of finish today. Obviously we've got a while to go. This background might take me a while to line up. It's staring me in the face. It's kind of like forever haunting me until I work on it. So I'm not looking forward to that. But we'll reach it in a second once we get Larkin fully drawn here. Let's do finger. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I think this is just Larkin's shoulder, if I'm not mistaken. Then right, and then that goes down there. I've got to remember that. That's his shoulder. Right, and then that's the rest of his arm goes down there. Draw the lines. Next scarf, brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing the live. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Aisha, thank you. Appreciate it. Is that an XP pen tablet? No, it's a Wacom Cintiq. So it's specifically the 32-inch I'm using currently. That is the tablet I'm using. Thank you so much for the follow, Rosie. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Right, let's put a white background behind all of this. Ba-ba-ba-bam. Right, okay, let's see if there's any gaps. I knew there was going to be some stuff that we'll need to clear out. This is easy for me to see what I've done the line up on, what I haven't. So, right, so we need to get rid of this. I think everything else is okay from the looks of things. Yeah, so I keep forgetting, like, this is like the newspaper that Fletch is holding here. So it just looks off to me because obviously there's no like text on it or anything. We're gonna figure out how we're actually gonna put the text on this. Actually, I think I've got an idea on how to do it. We could just use like the newspaper article we made up earlier. Right, so that should be then. We can just turn that on, and then we could just work on. Oh, nah, I forgot something. I forgot his arm down here. That's his arm. It should be reaching over, right? So let's put that back in. I'm bad in catching this now, though. Because it saves a job for later. Right, so let's work on the background here. I'm just going to quickly put a thick stroke around Larkin and Fletcher here, just to make them stand out from the background a bit more. And then we'll start line arting it. Well, I'm just making sure none of it's spilling over anywhere that shouldn't be. Brilliant. Right, new vector layer. Right, and then we'll straight line tool this in a second. I'll just look over to the comments just in case I'm missing anything. What's the manga about? It's a supernatural crime manga, and essentially you're following a downtrodden scientist called Larkin, who's the long-haired protagonist here. And essentially he discovers this mysterious book that leads him down a path of mystery, magic, and murder. And essentially you're following Larkin, trying to clear his name for murdering his boss. And there's a ton of supernatural beings in this, since Larkin's exposed to this whole magical world. If you kind of like Bungo Stray Dogs, The Grey Man, Moriarty's Patriot, Queso de Vanitas. That's the sort of vibes it is. It's set in Victorian era Bath. an actual city in England. So it's also in a historic location too. So that kind of sounds like your thing. That's roughly what this is about. I didn't do the whole spiel. I did that like 10 minutes ago. I'll rebuild my energy back up to do a full explanation again. You're so talented. This is so cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Slice. What app am I using? I'm using something called Clip Studio Paid EX. So it's like the more expensive version of Clip Studio than its normal program. So it comes with all like the fancy comic features, right? So it just makes my production for my manga a little bit more easier. Definitely worth the upgrade if you're considering making your own comics. I love this program. It's great to work in. Right, okay, let's get the straight line tool out here. We're going to go for like a slightly like drawn line. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like slightly wobbly. So it looks more drawn then. We're going to reduce the weight of that. I'm just going to put the lines in. I don't want it to be too fixed, so let's do like 5 pixels. Bring that across. It's going to take me a while to do this background, I feel like. I mean, to be fair, I could just probably... I could be sneaky and I could just grab the sketch, honestly. I mean, this sketch just looks pretty good how it is. Maybe I can just clean it up. What do you guys think? Maybe I can just grab it and just clean it up. Instead of me doing the line up for it. Let me try this out. Give me 1 second. Alright, so if I copy and paste this red line. And then if we select the area around it, so we get rid of the sketch from the other layers. Okay, and then if we alpha lock this and transfer it into black, like so. Right, and let me just quickly get rid of this. Right, so we need to adjust the perspective on that down there. So if we do something like that. Like that. Okay, and then if we reduce the line weight, okay, it does not need to be this thick. Oh, that looks pretty good actually. I'll stick with that. That's saved me so much time. I'll just take my sketch and I'll just clean it up. That looks alright actually. Sometimes it's just easier to do that, folks. It's just tidy up your sketch. Let's fix this up. That turned out so much better than I thought, actually. Right, bring that down. I'm just gonna go. The thing is, mostly to like the sketch around the characters because it's all on the same layer. It's just gonna spill out slightly, which is just what we want to try and avoid, right? And then we can leave the background then after that. In the speech bubble that says, I'm a positive influence, you missed I'm a positive influence. Oh, good shout. Give me 1 second. Thank you. You can tell I wrote it. Let me see. I think we keep the C on the top here. This is why I love live sharing, because people can point out any grammatical errors. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate people double checking my spelling and grammatical structure. I've got like speech and language disorder, folks, so for me it's hard, but you might be able to notice it in my speech as well, that my prepositions and there's some like words that I miss out in my sentence structures in general, and that kind of shows in my writing as well sometimes. I try and be careful about it, but yeah, things like that sometimes just sit right by my mind, and when you're working on a page like full time, you just get incredibly word blind as well. But no, thank you. I really appreciate you pointing that out, because that makes my life so much easier. So this looks insane. What? Thank you. I appreciate it. Honestly, you're so talented. I read the manga and I swear artists don't get enough credit for the time. Thank you. Yeah, it takes a long time to produce a page. Like people will just look at this panel and they won't think about how long it took you to draw this panel, right? Which is fine. Like I don't expect like everyone who reads like a manga to maybe necessarily see the amount of time that's put into a certain manga page, right? You know, I'm not going to hold that against anyone. Yeah, you know, that just happens, you know? Alright, and actually, we need to turn this into monochrome. There you go. Is there anything on the characters that's still cleaning up? Oh, slightly up here. Let's put that down here. Is everyone getting some lag at the moment? I don't know if that's just you or someone else. Thank you so much for all the follows, by the way, folks. I can't thank everyone because there's so many people following, but I appreciate it, alright? Thank you so much for the boo! I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What the hell is that? A digital eraser? Yeah, so at the end of my pen, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you got like an eraser rate. So you can just go that and it'll just erase around everything that you want to rub out. It's very smart like that. It's very handy. But it's like one of the buttons I have on my pen, you can like colour pick as well. So I can colour pick like this if I'm doing illustration work, but obviously you're not going to see me do that when I'm working in black and white, so bring that down. Let's clean this up still. Bring that down that way. What's a Cintiq you're using, sis? I'm using a Cintiq 32. It's the largest digital tablet that Wacom's ever produced. So if you wonder why it's so big, that's the reason why. It's a 32-inch screen. Right, I don't think there's anything I'm missing really. I'm thinking maybe I do put like a bottom of like a street. Sorry, I got a reference over here. We can just pretend that it's slightly coming out, and then actually still angle the floorboards and stuff goes down this way. So let's put the stone going in here, and then we need something going down here, don't we? So let's put something down here. That's a little bit of detail. Kind of like that. There you go. And then we'll screen tone that later. I'm just going to leave that as is for now. That looks really good, actually, that paddle. I'm really pleased with that. It looks really good. Right, and then we got panel 2 down here next. Thank you so much for all the follows, Molly. I appreciate it. What is it called? The application I'm using is called Clip Studio Paint, but specifically it's the EX version. So it's like the more pricier version of Clip that you can get. But I love this thing. This is what I use all the time. Bring this down here. Okay, we've got like some fabric covering touches items in this crate. Right. Let's put that down there. Actually, I might use a different pen, something a bit smoother. When I'm going this small, I prefer a slightly smoother pen to work with. So I'll just use that. Bring that down there. And then we draw touch the side bits. Also, usually I would have a character's ref, but I'm pretty confident with the sketch for this page that I don't need the ref sheets to help me out here. We should be alright. Let's bring that down here. Let's draw the ear in. Oh yeah, since it's been a while, for people who don't know, I do have a Discord server. So if you're wondering when I go live next, you can find that all on my Discord server. I try to update people there as much as I can. So you can find a link to that in my bio, as well as everything else. You can find my comic links down there too. You can find everything there. So if you want to join, you can join the Discord if you'd like to. And let's continue onwards with this. And bring that down that way. That just fluffy hair can be a bit of a pain to draw sometimes. Bring that up that way. Brilliant. Oh, let me skip this song in my headphones actually. 1 second, folks. I will stay with some Fallout Boy. Why not? Okay, and then I want to work on Larkin's hair, because technically he's first here, so let's was wondering, can I draw a bit better with nose shape now? I think that might be slightly better than my sketch. It's hard drawing this like top-down angle because the face kind of warps in a really weird way. Go down there. Right, and then draw the eyebrow in. Right. Bring that down there. And drag that across. Your line confidence is impressive, thank you. I feel like it has to be like when you've drawn like over 400 like manga pages, you should just kind of get a sense to how your lines are. But also, it's like if you can build up your like line art confidence, right? It saves so much time because you're not undoing a line all the time, right? So you're saving yourself so much time. It's why my pages probably only take like 6 to 7 hours to complete usually. I think that a lot of it comes down to me not needing to redo a line all the time. Bring that down. Right, that's his ponytail, so let's picking that line up a bit. And we continue onwards. Well, actually, where's my rubber back color down here? This needs to be pulled all the way back, past his ear. Right, and then bring out all up. Okay, and let's adjust the thickness of the hair here. Just make some strands slightly bigger than the others, just so we know where it's overlapping a bit better. Thicken that up too. Adjust that. How did you get into drawing these? Is it freelance or part of some sort of company? This is all indie. This is all by me. So all the art, all the story, completely made by me. It's my passion project. So I hardly get any money from this. I've been working on this for almost 3 years now. Yeah, I said all of this is just a passion project. I'm not paid by a company or anything. I am a freelance script writer though, for a webtoon project that's coming out soon. I'm under NDA though, so I can't talk about it yet. But when it's out, I'll talk about it. But yeah, this what you will see me work on at the moment. It's completely done by me. I don't have a team or anything. Where's your tools from? Are you talking like my pen, or like if you could clarify what you mean by that, I'll try my best to answer your question. Right. We'll continue onwards with that. Let's draw the collar with the hair here. Right, and then we need to draw the rest of his hood going up that way. His lapel. Oh, let me just thicken this box actually slightly here. Yeah, the line art is looking pretty good on this panel so far. Where you, sorry, oh. That's amazing, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the follows, by the way, folks. I'm literally, I can't thank everyone. There's so many of you guys following me. I do appreciate it. All your follows and your support, folks. I really do. Thank you so much. Right. So let's bring that upwards. Okay, and then I think we're going to have to make Larkin's hair slightly stronger on this, and probably his nose profile too. actually, we might have to connect it offwards. I don't usually do that. I like to usually keep like the nose open like here, but we will have to when it's colliding with his coat there. Let's bring that down this way. That's the collar put down. Right, and put that down. Right, and then that's the bottom of his coat. Yeah, the pen you're drawing on. Oh yeah, so what I'm drawing on is a Cintiq 32. That's the tablet I'm drawing on. That comes with the pen and everything else. Right, and then his tie should come down there. It goes off screen. This is a very long tie. Right, and then let's draw the other collar. Draw his neck in. Finish that tie off. Brilliant. And then let's draw the rest of his coat. That goes down there. Draw his lapel. Right, and that goes down that way. Right, I've got to fix his thumb in this as well, because his thumb is like huge for some reason. I don't know why it's so huge. This should be something more this size, really. And then if you draw a fingernail on that too. Are you British? Yes, yes, I am British. I am British. Thank you, no problem. I said I'm more than happy to just share all the gear I have. So. Alright, and then this needs to go up this way. Brilliant, okay. So I think that should be pretty much the characters drawn here, right? So we need to put like a white background behind these characters before we do the background. So let's work on that. Let's check this out over. Oh yeah, we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that as well. And I think, yeah, let me tidy up down by his mouth down here. It's because my liner tends to leave gaps, so not everything is like cleanly filled in. These are my words here. Let me just clean this up. Right, and then we need to add some white into this. So let's put some white down there. And then get rid of some of that here. Brilliant. Okay. That should be everything cleaned up for that one. Okay, so let's do the background for this panel now. Actually, I'm going to quickly put like a slightly thicker outline. And lock in the picture here. Clean that up and then we'll do the background. Just make sure everything stands out a bit better. Who's the farm mail? I really like his design. Are you talking about the one holding like the newspaper here? You can't tell it's a newspaper, but it's a newspaper. Or are you talking about the long-haired person? Is this one's Fletcher? This one's Larkin. You're so good, thank you! And this is so cool, I love it, thank you, I really appreciate it, thank you. That is a really huge tablet you're using, Lamau. It looks like a whole TV, I love it though, thank you. Yeah, it's a Cintiq 32. It's one of the biggest tablets you can get on the market. Obviously, I can't really fit it all onto the video live stream, unfortunately. If TikTok app was landscape and it was good quality, I would do it landscape, but I feel like most people on TikTok just obviously use it portrait mode, right? So hi Hi, what are you drawing? Brand model using? I'm using Cintiq 32. Welcome to Cintiq 32. This is so original. Thank you. Where are you from? I'm from the UK. I'm from England. What program do I use? I use Clip Studio Paint, specifically the EX version. So it's like the more expensive version of Clip. It comes with like more comic features that I cannot live without. So, right, let's draw the background here. I will actually draw the line out for this one this time compared to last time. So let's clean this up. All of this top part is going to be cut out anyway when it comes to printing, but we'll add the details in anyway, just in case the paper moves during printing. Just means there's something there. Bring that down that way. Bring that down there. Actually, I'll bring that down that way. That's fine. Cool. And let's bring that down that way. Good luck with the project manga panel you were doing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. I really love your accent too. It's so satisfying to hear you talk. Thank you. I said I come from Wiltshire, so it's not a very like populated part of the UK, so it's a bit more rare, I guess, to hear my accent. I think there's only like 800,000 people who live in Wiltshire, right? So it's not a common British accent. Is what I'm trying to say. You draw so beautiful. You draw so well. This is beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate all your kind comments today, folks. It really does mean a lot. Right. So, and then we've got this needs to come down. Right. This is like the easiest background I've drawn for this scene so far. There's really not that much I need to do for it, which is great. I'm just gonna draw a few random street lines down there. Right, so how's that gonna look? Okay, I think maybe we should reduce the line weight slightly in the background here, just to make the characters stand out a little bit. So let's do that. So if we go like that, that should be slightly better. Brilliant. Right, so let's select these two. So we've only got 2 panels left of the line art, so these should be still fairly quick, right? So right, so we just got a close-up of Fletcher's face here. Is your manga being turned into a book? It is a book. It's already a book. I self-published. All of this you guys are seeing, like all the art, all the writing and stuff is produced by me. But I've got volume 1 already made up, so this has the first 6 chapters within it. You can see all of my older art in this as well, which my art has changed a lot since producing chapter 1 and stuff about 3 years ago. So my art's improved vastly, but you can get volume 1, which contains chapter 1 to 6 in there. Obviously I'm working on chapter 12 now, so if people can use the brains a little bit, it's been another 6 chapters. So after this chapter is finished, I will be putting together volume 2. So the second book will go out, and chapter 12 is also the last chapter in this story arc. So volume 1 and volume 2 should be like a complete story, you know, so it will continue onwards after this, but there should be like a finished story you guys can read. So hello, where did you get that drawing tablet from? I'm looking for one myself. Yeah, this one is Cintiq 32. I got it from eBay. I got it second hand. It cost a lot of money to get it second hand. But like I've gotten like my 28, which is hidden over here. I got it for like £600 from like CEX. So I'd definitely check out CEX if you're looking for a Wacom, because you can usually get them for a really good price from there actually, which I don't think a lot of people know about. It's worth looking on CX to see if there's anything for a good price second hands. Wiltshire, me too, yay! I've never seen anyone else from Wiltshire in this chat. I'm so glad I'm not alone. So I'm from the north part of Wiltshire, so. But the manga where it's set is in Bath, so it's really not that far from Wiltshire where this manga is set. I go and actively get like reference imagery for Bath myself, so a lot of the backgrounds you see are like photos I've taken, and I've just drawn them out. So, but I need to do another trip to Bath because obviously now that Arc 1 is ending in this chapter, I need to get reference photos specifically for Arc 2, but I need to properly plan out Arc 2 before doing that. But I will be doing another trip to Bath very soon. I'll probably go when the Christmas market is on, right? So I think that's probably would time best. Oh, this is so sick. I love it. Thank you. Oh, the book looks sick. Thank you as well. I appreciate it. Oh my word. I didn't even realise 67 viewers. What the hell? I think this is the most viewers I've ever had joining for a live stream. I really appreciate it, folks. Thank you so much. Like, I average, guys, okay, on a usual stream, I focus, like, I have, like, 4 viewers max. Like, this is really unusual to have so many viewers. No wonder why I can't keep up with chat today. Because usually I have, like, 5 people here. How long have you been drawing? I've been drawing for like 10 years now, but specifically comics. I've been studying comics for like, give or take 4-5 years. Probably really closer to 5 than 4. I went to university to study comics in De Montfort University, which is in Leicester. I studied concept and comic art over there, and I was the first ever intake for that year. So I did study the art of comics, but not specifically manga production or manga styled comics. A lot of that I've taught myself over the years. So let's bring that down there. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the follows, by the way, folks. I really appreciate it. So there's so many people in here. I thought I'll plug my Discord again. If you like my work, or if you're a reader and you're a fan of the Thieves Stuff and Depth, I do have a Discord server. You can check that out in the link in my bio, as well as my comic in general. You can find all the links to it in my bio if that interests you at all. Sorry, I have to do a plug here and there, folks. Otherwise, I'm never ever going to get people to have a look at my bio for stuff. What's this manga called? It's called The Thieves Who Stole From Death. So yeah, there you go. That's the book for volume 1. For people wondering, I do have a book. I self-published. All the art, all the writing is done by me. So, hello from France. It's interesting, satisfying to watch your process. Hello. We got international viewers in here. Hello from France. I said, you're not far from Britain. I do mind some French people. It said, if you're French and you're in chat right now, I appreciate you. I said, I will say I am a big fan of French comics as well. Though my favourite European comics, because it's not technically French, is Tintin. I love Tintin. I've got like, you can't see behind me, but I've got Tintin illustrations behind me. I love Tintin. It's one of my other inspirations apart from manga. So that's another influence of mine. Right, so we need an exclamation mark, so let's put that down there. Thank you so much for all the follows, folks. I turn on the live notifications. I'll be here whenever I can. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, B. Is it? Hopefully, I'll see you again very soon. If you come back in the future. Is it? Surprisingly, I haven't seen anyone who's usually here. Now, I wonder if because it's a Sunday, they're just busy. But usually, I see my regular folks in here, but I haven't seen them yet today. I do wonder if my notification went in my Discord. I do not know. I haven't checked. But hopefully the bot is working. Now, to be fair, I did tell everyone quite late last night that I was planning on live streaming today, so. When did you start this manga? I started about 3 years ago. Like, it will be 3 years in December since I started production of it. But I started releasing the manga in June of 2023. 2023? Yeah, 2023. So that's when the first chapter release was in 2023. But I've drawn a lot of manga pages since then. Right, so we just got this final panel now, so let's do that. So we need a vector layer again. I don't even know how I'm going to draw this panel. I wonder if I should draw my speed line first, so I don't need to worry about drawing everything underneath necessarily. Let's have a look at this for a second. This needs to be fairly long, actually. I'll go something like that. Maybe slightly. Okay, that might be a bit too big. Actually, it's not bad size. That might work. The thing is, like, I don't know if people can see, like, there's a green line here. And technically, you're supposed to keep all your lettering in this green area. Because when you send it out to print, it means that no matter how it prints, your text won't be lost within it. So I kind of want to keep the speed line also within this green area if I can. I mean, if some of it's kind of out of it, it's fine. Because it should still print out all of it, but it's just in case. We do kind of want most of it in the green zone, which just is. So we'll leave it like that. Right, okay, new vector layer. Let's actually draw the characters in this panel. Hello, welcome to the live stream, everyone who's new here. I hope you're all having a great day. I know there's a lot of new people in here. I appreciate you all checking it out. Yeah, I hope you're all having a great day. It's quite nice and sunny here in the UK. I was saying this earlier, it's been so grey here recently. It's nice to actually get some sun. But I guess that's just autumn for you. And we're so close into winter now, it's so crazy that we're almost in winter. But we've still got November yet. Great. If we draw the colour here. Ba-ba-ba-bam. The progress is really good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. hello, well, how are you doing? I want to start making manga. How do I start? It's my dream. You just start drawing. It depends where you're at with your manga journey, honestly. Because what I always recommend for newbies who want to get into like drawing manga and starting drawing manga is to always study your favorite manga artist, right? Like, but specifically, it's like concentrate on how like they panel a page, right? How did they go from A to B towards the end of the page? Like, I'll use this page as an example, right? One of the biggest mistakes I see beginner manga artists make is the panel layout and the lettering specifically. If your manga is not readable, nobody's gonna read your manga. Okay, first and foremost. Okay, the most like important part of any manga is the lettering, and it's something that's not really talked about enough. Because if it feels uncomfortable for a reader to read, people are gonna feel uncomfortable reading your manga, right? They know that something's off, and it's usually what causes manga to look off, as you will, right? So essentially, you see this first speech bubble here. Let me see if I can put blue here. All right, I'm gonna draw a line here. Okay, look at this shape. Okay, it's an S shape. Okay, this is a whole S shape. Okay, you want to follow this S shape going all the way down. Okay, that is like the natural eye line that your readers will take, and you just want to continue with that onwards all the way down here, and again you go S. So always think like your first speech bubble on a panel should always be higher than your second one, okay? Because people are always going to gravitate to the highest panel speech bubble first. But yeah, that's why I say to like study your favorite manga artists, because they will have this like nailed down to the core. And then what I will also say is vary your panel layouts. If I quickly save this, I'll quickly show you some of my other manga panels, to show you what I kind of mean by that. It might just take a while to load it up. I'll have a drink. Yeah, if I zoom this out. For example, it's like, you can tell like from this right page here is a different layout from this one here, right? And you kind of want to keep that going for each one. It's like try and vary it up for each page. It makes it a nicer reading experience. Overall, it makes it interesting, especially when my series is like a mystery manga, right, with supernatural elements and stuff in, so there tends to be a lot more dialogue as well. So it's also trying to think about how to be visually interesting as well when you're trying to obviously build up this mystery, right? So yeah, it's easier for me to show you my panels without me. You know, you don't see like the right side page repeating itself, you know, when it comes to the panel layout, right? Oh yeah, I forgot I don't colour pages back here. Sometimes I do colour pages. Not always, but I do colour pages sometimes. You're very talented, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the follows, by the way, folks. By the way, I'm making a manga called Intergalactic. I can't ever say that word. Elemental Ninja Dragons. That sounds epic. That sounds awesome, man. I love that. I see. May I ask you on Discord so you can teach me more? I hope I don't ask too much. Yeah, I've got a Discord server. So if you don't know, you can go to the link in my bio. And you can just scroll down from here. You can find the Discord server here. So if you click that, it should send you to that Discord. And, you know, there's a ton of people who can give you advice there, including myself. As I said, I'm more than happy to try and help. But there's a lot of people who want my help. But I'll try my best to help where I can. But I'm also a very busy person. But there should be people on the Discord who can also help you out, you know. So there's other manga creators on there. As well as other fellow artists who are not manga creators. And you've just got my readers as well. You got some of my readers on there who I'm sure wouldn't mind putting their 2 cents in to your arts as well. So thank you so much for all the follows, folks. I really appreciate it. That's so cool. Thank you. No problem. He said, hopefully I'll see you in there. But let me know if you've got any issues joining. If so, I'll just put like the link on the panel I'm working on, so you can just join. Because I can't unfortunately post links into TikTok chat. Great, I just joined. Do you use Photoshop? No, I use something called Clip Studio Paint. Specifically the EX version. That's the version I use. Right, let me put down that way. Just put lines somewhere. Okay, and then we want the teeth down here, and then that needs to all be black. Right, let's draw the rest of the hair, and then we'll draw all the the effects and stuff in a second. Bring that all downwards. Draw the hairline in. Right, and then his ears hidden behind here. Back of his neck. Thank you so much for all the follows, folks. What's the big tablet called? It's called a Cintiq 32. So it's the biggest tablet you can get from Wacom. I don't think they sell it brand new anymore. You have to get it second hand, unfortunately. Bring that down there. Okay, he's still holding this bloody newspaper. I gotta draw that. Let's put that in. His hand all the way into there too. Brilliant. Okay, so let's put that all down there. Ba-ba-da-bum. No, I know, it's devastating that they don't produce it anymore. If they ever release a new version of the Cintiq 32, honestly, I'd save for it and buy in a heartbeat because I love how big it is. Ooh, 1 second, folks. I've just been asked by TikTok to quickly authenticate myself because TikTok thinks sometimes I'm a robot, folks. When I'm clearly not a robot. Hopefully you guys can tell I'm not a robot. There you go. That's all done and secure, so I shouldn't have to do that for the rest of the life now. I don't need to worry about it in my TikTok live stream ending because it thinks I'm a robot. Right, so that's all done, so let's draw the rest of this. Well, your manga's all over Google, is it? I haven't Googled my manga for a very long time, or my name, but that's cool if it's all over Google. That's good to know. That's all over Google. Let's put that all the way in. Right, let's put the knuckles in. We draw a fingernail down there too. Let's save this for a second, just in case it crashes. Alright, let's continue drawing some boxes down here. My God, a big drawing tablet, your back must have your hand. No, actually, I sit better with this tablet because it's on like a stand. I don't really want to move it too much in case I mess up everything, but I can move it, so it can go up higher. But usually I have it like laying on the tablet table upright like so. Right, are you gonna behave yourself now? I've moved it. This is why I don't move my tablet, because it kind of wants to do its own thing. There you go. I think that's fine. But no, I sit quite nicely in my chair when working on a tablet this size. If I was working on a smaller tablet, I would be bending over, and I know that from experience. Because I used to have a 13 back in the day before I sold it, and yeah, I used to bend over that thing all the time. It was really bad. It was really bad for my posture. Would not recommend. If you're gonna if you get to get a smaller tablet, definitely have it, you know, upright. It saves your back. And also, when it comes to like drawing with your hand, I draw with my arm, so I don't necessarily draw with my wrist. So I don't put a lot of pressure on my hands. But I also adjust like the pressure sensitivity settings, so it's a slightly lighter touch is needed to draw stronger lines. So. How many layers do you use? I use a lot of layers. Actually, let's have a look. If I create a new layer. Okay, to be fair, I am only on layer 15 at the moment. It could be a lot worse. It will get a lot worse once I put screen tones down. But yeah, I don't use a lot of layers, I guess. I thought I used a lot more, but I guess I don't. So my illustrations, however, folks, that's a lot of layers for my illustrations. That's when it gets into layer hell. I hardly name anything in my illustrations either. What app is this? It's Clip Studio EX. Thank you. Someone in chat already answered that, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Do you have another job? I was wondering if Webtoon was substantial because I wanted to start one full time. I do have other jobs. So I'm a library assistant, a part-time library assistant, and I also freelance as a Webtoon scriptwriter for a Webtoon project that is not out yet, and I'm under NDA, so I can't talk about it quite yet. Once it released, I can talk about it. But that's something brand new. I've never done Webtoon scriptwriting before, but I was discovered on TikTok for it, and they've read my stuff and they really liked it. So I'm hired on a Webtoon project at the moment, but yeah, I can't talk about it unless I want to get into massive trouble, which I really don't. So, but yeah, I hardly make any money off of this, unfortunately. I'm not mega popular at all, really. I find it very hard to advertise my comic in general. It's always been the case. I'm not very good at marketing, folks. But I enjoy live streaming though, and I think a lot of my readers come from my live streams usually. For me, it's the best way to get engagement, as you will. I mean, if you look at my page, look at my my video views, folks. It's not strong at all. I suck at making videos. I said I wish I was better, but like it just doesn't come naturally to me. Like making videos. I wish I was better at it. But yeah, it's just something I don't enjoy creating. So. Can you earn money from that? Yeah, I do earn some money from this. I sell physical books of Volume 1, so I get a lot of money from that. I've been attending conventions a few times last year, and I made quite a bit of money from attending conventions. But yeah, not nearly enough to make it a full-time, unfortunately. I wish I was doing this full-time. That would be my absolute dream if I was doing it full-time, as it would be for any like comic creator. But it's just not the case at the moment. Maybe in the future though. That's my dream. Hopefully I can do it in the future. But yeah, I'm working a few jobs at the moment. Why is the screen so large? It's because there's a Raccoon Cintiq 22. That's why it's so large. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing your other watching product. Yeah, it's really, guys, I really want to talk about it. And what I will say, it's a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people will be a bit shocked to see what I've been working on, I'll be honest. I was shocked when the person who reached out to me asked me to work on it. So hopefully you guys will really enjoy it. I've been really enjoying writing the scripts for it. So yeah, I can't wait to share more details about that with you all. You guys will be really excited. Is what I will say. And funny enough, it actually collides with my past quite a bit as well. The company I'm working for, which is really cool. But again, I can't go into more details than that, unfortunately. Thank you so much for the rose. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate any of your support, folks. Whether that's just liking, following my stuff, joining my Discord, reading my manga, any way helping me out, it really helps me out. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's so many of you guys here today. I can't believe that. Like, if any of my OG viewers who are usually here every stream ever join, they won't believe how many viewers we have in chat today. It's insane. For people who weren't here earlier, I was talking about like how usually in my streams I average like 4 viewers or 5 viewers. So for me, it's very odd having 45 people in chat. Or 45 viewers, I should say. But it's awesome. I love having so many people check out my work today. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, I don't know where my regulars are. Like I said, I think maybe the notification didn't go out on Discord properly. I don't know. Right, we need a question mark. Give Blarkin a question mark here. Thank you very much. Let's put him down there. Something like that. Okay, let's reduce the line weight of that because it does not need to be as thick as that. Something like that is fine. Right. And then, actually, we should probably shove a white background behind these characters. Actually, let me remove that for a second. And we need to move these 2 layers into its own separate folder. So let me do that. That needs to be called effect. Actually, did I move one of the line art? Okay, I did move the line art one. That's not what I want. I want this one to go in here as well as this one. Okay, and then we turn that off. Brilliant. Okay, that's correct now. Right, white background. Let's put this all behind here. Right, okay. Then if we turn that back on, and then yeah, we've got some gaps here that we need to rub out. I think it's only that we need to get rid of. Okay, easy enough. Right, okay, let's turn the effects back on here. Right, and then, oh yeah, we need some sweat stuff from Butcher here. So let's add some of that. Let's see here. I should have a sweaty brush. Something like that. We can just reduce the sweats that are coming out of here. Well, actually, let's not do that on the same layer as the question mark. Let's reduce that. Where's my rubber? Let's like make it full or so to this side, and then we'll copy and paste that to the other side. So coming out both sides. Brilliant. And then we can also have another thing. We want like a notice sort of thing. So let's bring that onto this side. Bring that to down there. And then if we increase the line weight for that, let's so. Right, and then we need some speed lines. So let's do that as well. So panel 5, let's open that back up. Make a new layer. Or actually, let's increase that like so. I'm just going to tidy that all up. Tidy up all the way around the speech bubbles as well, because sometimes it just gets on speech bubbles, which is a bit annoying. Right, and that should be cleaned down now. Brilliant. Okay, speed lines. What are your ultimate favourite manga that you would recommend reading? My favourite manga of all time is D. Grey Man. I love D. Grey Man. I can't say how much I love it. It's different from my favourite anime though. But yeah, my favourite manga is D. Grey Man. I said if you like your shonen stuff, you should like D. Grey Man. So, where's Draw Circle? Ooh, oh my word. That's not what I want. Okay, let's fix this up. 1 second, let's do this. So we only want it on this one side here. So let's mask outside. There you go. Right, and then let's reduce the length of the lines here. So this needs to go to 2000. So, right. I'm just going to quickly reduce the that, and then we don't want it as strong as I've got it here, so we want to increase the gap a bit. Okay, so if we do 800, something like that. Okay, I'm going to quickly preview this just to make sure everything looks alright. Thank you so much for the rose. I really appreciate it. Thank you. This is a vampire arc if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, it is the vampire arc. At least you got a good memory. Yeah, this is the vampire arc. It's also the last chapter for the vampire arc. And then it's done. And then we can move on to arc 2, which is, I don't know if some people know in chat, but like Tobias, Toby, Ruben and Judy should turn up in the next arc, as well as William, which I'm really excited to draw them. And actually, you might see Toby and crew at the end of this chapter as a little teaser. I'm very excited to draw them, and the witches in general, so that should be fun. Right, so let's just screen tone now. Let's just screen tone time. Finally. It's be exciting to get some screen tones sorted out. Watching a drawing stream whilst drawing is great. Yes, I also do the same. Sometimes I would just try and look for like a drawing stream and I just draw with them. It's great. It's a fun activity to do. Yeah, I like learning from people when watching them draw whilst I draw. It's like, oh, I could pick up like that technique from them. Or something like that. Is that Yari Manga? No, it's not Yari. I should just clarify, if you haven't seen like the pinned video when I talk about Larkin, which is the long hair character here, they don't care how they're perceived, so they're non-binary essentially. Even though like most of the time in the manga they're referred to as masculine, they do identify as non-binary. Well, Fletcher here is male, so. Nice. Let's put in the shadows for his hair here. Thank you so much for the follow space. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's always great. Cozy vibes. Although I will say I mostly do not watch it, and now I do the same. I'm like that with YouTube videos too. It's like I try and listen, and then like I completely tune out the audio. It's really bad. But I need like some sort of background music. Like even now, like even when I'm talking to you folks, I also have like music going on in my headphones. Like, he said I just need something in the background to occupy my brain whilst I'm working. Otherwise, I think too much about what's happening on the manga page. It makes drawing manga a bit more difficult if I don't have any background music. I think too much about my manga page, and it takes me way longer to finish a manga page off. Whilst if I'm listening to something in the background, it's a bit easier. Or like even like this, like live streaming, I find makes me finish my pages quicker. I like, well, thank you so much, Robo. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for the follow, Wania. I appreciate it, and I apologize if I say your name wrong. Yuri very soon actually. I do have a lesbian couple next arc. Very excited to introduce Hazel and Judy to you all. We do have a lesbian couple next arc. So they are coming. The Yuri's coming before the Yari. So. Yeah, it's got to have background noises. Yes, yeah. He said, I have to have background noise. I can't live without it. It's very rare that I draw, like, nothing in the background. Usually if I'm drawing with nothing in the background, I'm usually doing something traditional. But yeah, I feel like I have to have something on when I'm drawing. I'm just looking at this tie. It doesn't seem like it's drawn the best, is what I would say. It should probably come up more this way, and then shorter on that side probably. That needs to come down that way. Let me fix this up. It's annoying me. Sometimes you only notice things once you move on to the screen tone process, and this is like one of those things. Let's adjust that. There we go. Okay, let's fix up this tie here. Thank you so much for the follow, folks. I really appreciate it. Oh my god, and thank you so much for 7k likes. That's insane. That's so many likes. I appreciate it. Alright, let's bring up the screen tone layer here. Alright, we shove that all the way down. Okay, and we need to draw some heavy shadows here as well. So let's do that too. Alright, let's go to the inking brush here. We're just gonna put some heavy shadows down here where it folds in slightly too. There's some stuff. It just adds a bit more three-dimensionality to everything. Probably some shadow underneath the coat as well here. Okay. Right, and then we've got his coat. So that's going to be 50 screen tones. Let's work on that. Well, actually, let's put his belt in before I forget. I need to get that. Right, that needs to be all shoved in. Like so. I've got his back arm going down that way. Brilliant. And then we need 60 shading for this. So let's put 60 here. Thanks so much for all the follows, folks. Are you using Adobe Illustrator? No, I'm using something called Clip Studio Paint currently. Specifically, I'm using like the expert edition of Clip Studio Paint. So it has like more like comic tools and things like that. Alright, let's bring this up here. Fletcher's coat is always a bit of a pain to draw. Let's fix up a little bit. Right, I don't mind if there's a bit of shading going off that way. Right, and then draw that down there. Let's draw some of the seam lines a bit darker too. Goes down there, brilliant. And then we've got this arm over here too. Brilliant. Right, let's turn that back on. Right, and then I kind of want to bring up this gradient up a little bit to this be slightly darker than it is. That should be fine. If I do it that way, bring that up even more. There we go. Right, and then this is 90 down here. So let's do that. 90 screen tone. There we go. And then this up here, his curves are going to be 70, which is perfect timing to also do Larkin's hair. So let's put that in. Brilliant. Right. Flocking, let's work on you now, mate. What's your pad called? It's called Cintiq 32. It's a Wacom Cintiq. Right. Brilliant. And then his eyebrow. Okay. And then we need to select this, and then we're gonna put 90 in for the shading. For the shadows unlocking his hair. So let's do that. Also, I should say, we're trying to achieve this look by the end, folks, on this page. This is what we're aiming for, just to give a point of reference for everyone. So that's what we're working towards at the moment. Then how much did your art setup cost? I mean, this cost me, with everything, including the computers, because I got 2 computers specifically for this tablet when buying this tablet. I got it for £1,400 roughly, give or take. They came with like the Express keypad, the Wacom keyboard, the 3D art pen that I've never used. It comes with literally everything that the Cintiq 32 was designed to have. Because there's a funny story behind it. I haven't talked about it in a very long time, so I'll explain it since it's been like at least 2 months since I last told the story. But essentially, I got this tablet off of eBay. I won it in an auction. I never thought I'd get it for $1,400 in an auction, but I did. So I was a bit shocked. So me and my dad went and drove all the way to Kent. All right, so the seller was in Kent, and we went all the way over there. I've never been to Kent before, so it was an interesting drive. It was so pretty over there. Definitely like the expensive part of Kent. Like, it was so beautiful. I was like, this you know, I'd love to live here sort of area. But then we went to the house where someone was selling the tablet, and we found out that they also had like a Cintiq 28. They also had like a Cintiq 13. Like, they had like pretty much all the Cintiqs you can ever imagine. And essentially, the story behind this guy is that he used to be a Wacom sales employee. But essentially, Wacom never asked for these tablets back. So the tablet I'm using used to be a tablet like he would take to like universities, art companies and stuff to try and sell people on it. So I literally got the only 32 that he was showing. But obviously, when he was showing the tablet, he also showed like all the supplies. So he had all the supplies for the 32 Cintiq, which included like the 2 dedicated computers for the 32. So I'm currently using one of the computers dedicated for the 32, which I don't know anyone who has that. But you could have bought it. But like the 32 in general was, when I was talking to this Wacom sales employee, was only kind of bought by like art directors at studios. Like, nobody else really bought them, let alone the computers. Like, he was even talking to us. It's like we hardly ever showed like any of the computers dedicated to the 32. So like I said, like I literally don't know anyone who has like 2 computers for the 32. It's a very rare find. And also, he gave me, if I can get it, even though this is not Cintiq, I've got like a Huion mascot stand, and I've never seen these sold anywhere. So I've got something very unique here. I don't know if this was only for sales employees, but I've got this as well. But this is for my, I use it as like a pen stand for my other Cintiq. But yeah, that's a short story of it all about how I got my tablet. All of this like top stuff knots, yeah. So all a year in total would cost, like, if you bought it at retail at the time, it would cost over £6,000. To put it in perspective, it probably cost more than that, honestly. It's probably a higher number than that, but that's how much it would have cost. But like, I got it like dirt cheap. I can't emphasize how much of a good deal it was. Thank you so much for all the flyers, folks. I really appreciate it. How long have you been making manga? I've been making manga for, well, this specific manga I've been making for almost 3 years now. But I've been studying how to learn comics and stuff for like the last 5 years. Right, let's put in some shading here. Thank you so much for the follows, folks. I really appreciate it. This is honestly insane, bro. Keep up the good work and God bless. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day as well. Where did you start learning to make comics? Was there any courses you did? Yeah, I went to university. So I made like my first ever comic during college. It was like kind of an offer to spur thing, and then I really enjoyed making comics. I thought this was like, oh, maybe I should do comics. And I went around universities, and I eventually started attending De Montfort University, which is up in the centre of Leicester. And they have something called Concept and Comic Art over there, and I was the first ever intake for that university course. So I was their first ever year group, essentially. So there was like 30 of us in that first year, and that's where I studied concept art as well as comic art. I didn't specifically learn manga there, but I learned comics there, right? But they very much supported me doing manga comics, you know. Simply put, they were very supportive of me doing that sort of style, which is obviously very unusual if you hear from art teachers in general, but they were very supportive of it. But yeah, I said that was about 5 years ago. I started that university course, guys, in 2020, okay? In the middle of goddamn COVID, in the middle of lockdown. That was a choice on my behalf to do that, so. Thank you so much for all the follows, folks. How do you get the background? Is it the buildings or the environments? This is reference photo. Actually, I still got it up over here. Sorry, it's hidden away in the corner over here. It's reference imagery. So these are like reference images I took, as well as like Google Maps helping me out here. It's all set, like my manga's all set in the city of Bath. So that's where it's located in the Victorian era. So that's the setting of it, and I don't live too far away from Bath, so I go over there and take like reference photos here and there for my own comic. But I also use like 3D to help as well. I always say I use the 3D box method, aka I drop down a 3D box in Clip Studio, delete the box, and I grab the perspective ruler from that box. It saves a lot of time. That's what I usually do. Or if I'm doing like an interior shot, like I guarantee like most of the time all the like interior shots you see in the manga, I've done like a 3D mock-up of that space, because I suck at interiors. So I always need reference for the backgrounds for interior shots, because I make them up on the spot. So it's like a combination of many things. Is what I'm generally trying to say here. Alright, let's put that on. Also, we should probably draw like a fingernail on Larkin's hand down here. Considering we have fingernails for Fletcher up here with his hand on Larkin. So let's do that. It just looks a bit odd otherwise if he doesn't have his fingernail on it, on his thumb. There you go. Right, and then that goes down there. How long does a panel normally take you? Depends on the complexity. Depends on the complexity. I can tell you how long I've been working on this page for so far though. Give me 1 second. I've been working on this page... Oh, really? Okay, I'm shocked at that. I've only been working on this page for 4 hours and 30 minutes. I can't believe that, honestly, folks. Usually it takes me like 6 to 7 hours to finish a manga page. So that's why I'm a bit shocked that I'm really at like the 4 hours and a half mark. Because usually I'm like 6 hours into this by now. So obviously I've done this page fairly quickly this time around. I'm just surprised myself. What 3D program do you use to help make background? Is you like the background or the characters didn't? Yeah, I just use Clip Studio. I just use assets from the Clip Studio store. For example, if I bring up like my folders here, right? If I go 3D, this is like my saved 3D folders. So these are all the scenes that I've made a 3D space of for Defeated Stuff and Death. So for example, like you can see like Lloyd's home lounge. So if we open up the home lounge, which is featured in chapter 12, I'll open up real quick so you can see. So, you know, you can see like there is like some 3D models of the characters to help me out. But also you can see the 3D space, right? It's like, okay, they've got like the window stack here, right? Oh, they got like a tea set down here. They've got a back door. They've got like a placeholder painting. There's an actual painting that I use. I don't use that painting. And there's like some extra detail here and there. But, you know, I adjust things as I go. But it just helps camera angles wise to have it here. That's all. So... I'm working on one shot myself, and this is taking a search for Houston to work on something. Yeah, as I said, like, honestly, making the first chapter or making your first one shot is like the biggest step you can make, right? I think just to get that done, it takes so much effort because so many people, you know, stop right at the beginning. Like, they never get more further than like maybe like the first 10 pages of that manga, right? So to go beyond that is really difficult, and you know, for anyone who goes beyond that, I really do commend you because yeah, not a lot of people can do it. But yeah, I said I wish you luck with your one shot. Do you treat it over and then on another layer and then delete it? Yeah, essentially. When it comes to 3D backgrounds like that, I do for interior shots. That's the easiest, and it saves me a lot of time as well. The thing is, the kind of like golden rule I set myself is, can I achieve the same effect if I did this in 3D, if I did it in freehand, right? If I can do it in 3D, I will do it in 3D if it saves me time. If it doesn't save me time, I will freehand it. You know, the thing is, like, if I can get like the same effect as I do it in freehand as I do in 3D, I will, you know, I will do it in 3D. Whatever saves me a lot of time. Because again, for people who don't know, I work on this by myself. So it's a lot of work for one person to do. So anything that can save me time really helps me out. Would you consider AI to trace your background and then colour in to save time? No, never. Never. I would never use that. Because the thing is, AI is not accurate. 3D is accurate, you know. That's me in a very simple explanation. I would never trust AI for backgrounds. Very adamantly against it, so... Because I could never get what exactly I want, you know, what I can with like 3D and stuff. It's easier to visualize in the 3D space as well. Actually, I'll use something else for this. I know, I mean, AI to trace a video in 3D and then do it yourself. I don't really know what you mean by that. If you're talking like the line extractor tool and clip, no, I don't use that. It looks so shit if I do that. I always draw it myself. I never use the extractor line tool because it looks absolute crap, folks. I do not recommend using it. I know it saves so much time using it, but I'll be honest, folks, it looks absolutely shit. Right, and then let's go down there. Let's put that in. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Something like that. Okay, so how am I going to do the newspaper? I haven't even thought about how I'm going to do the newspaper here. Because I've got the newspaper here. So I kind of need to put this on that piece of paper. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I wonder... Give me one sec. Let me have a look at my folders over here. Yeah, so I've got this image that I can probably transfer onto it. This is the actual article I wrote out for everything. So maybe if we yoink this, let me see if I can do some magic. So let's copy and paste this down. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I can tilt it downwards slightly. Let me see if I can format it slightly to where it would be falling. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll warp it slightly. Let me see if I can warp it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just kind of needs to look like it's just warping around everything, you know? So something like that. Bring that down. Keep warping it until it kind of looks kind of nice, you know? Alright, bring that upwards. Keep squishing this down. Yeah, and then press it down that way. Yeah, something like this. That should do. What I'll probably do as well, I might slightly blur that as well, because we don't need all of that detail on it. It'd be easier to exclude the detail from it, really. Let's blur it slightly. We're on grey, aren't we? Thanks so much for all the follows, folks. I really appreciate it. Copy and paste and then rest or stretch it. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Thank you for the advice. Yeah, I thought I just maybe warping it would be better. But yeah, I just want this like a tiny bit of blur, just so it's not as sharp. Cause yeah, we don't need to read all the details on it. You know what I mean? So okay, let's put like that on it. There we go. That looks so much better. There you go. That looks like he's actually holding an actual newspaper now. Okay, and let's put some shading into that before we move on to the backgrounds. Okay, so let's get my pen back out. Thank you so much for the follows, folks. I really appreciate it. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Right. Because we want it always to be slightly more scrunched to where his hand is. Okay, let's turn this back on again. There we go. Okay, you kind of imagine it folding over places and stuff like that. Okay, and then we need 70 for the cloth in that box as well. So let's put that in. Like so. Alright, let's like that. I might just put a heavy black down there. Like so. Okay, brilliant. Okay, let's do the background. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I think the easiest thing to do is maybe to fill it in black. The areas we want to screen tone. So if I do that all the way down there, that should cover it. Okay. Yeah, that is actually what I wanted to do. Okay. Work with me here, folks, okay? Hold on. Select that. Turn that off. Let's make a new screen tone folder. That can go below all of our panels. Right, and what we want to do is drag it up. Something like that. We don't want it to be too dark because, again, like in the reference photo here, folks, look how light that stonework is. We don't want it to look dark. And also, because the characters are dark already, we really don't want the buildings to be too dark, otherwise they won't stand out from it. Usually I'll put a right aura around these characters anyway, but I'm just trying to explain what I'm trying to do here. What I keep in my mind when I'm considering doing stuff like this. Right, and then I do want some black, and I will show you what I do with that in a second. I just add a little bit of 3D-ness to it. Now it won't be pure black, we will adjust it. Let's just add a bit of a 3D effect to everything. Right, it's like under here. Actually, if we put it under there, then we can carry it forwards over here. You really want to do it up there. Why? I just want this little portion put down, thank you. Okay. I'll put down there, not there. Okay, and put a little bit there. It doesn't need to be perfect, it's just some darkness. Right. Okay. Oh, and there's we could add some darkness down there as well. Almost there. Put that one down there. And down there. Right, I think this is a pipe here actually, so let's make sure that's definitely black as well. Some darkness down there. Okay. And then that should be fine. Okay, and then what we want to do is find the brush. Where's my brush? It's like a glow erase brush. Yeah, this is it. And we just want to erase some of this slightly with like some sort of like haze sort of brush. It has like circles in it, just so it's not as dark. I might just increase the size a little bit here. Right, and then we are also going to add some there. Like that. Ooh, that's not what I want. Right. Like that. Okay, let's reduce that darkness slightly to like that tone. Brilliant. Okay, and then we need to do some detail on the ground down here as well. So let's add some of that in too. Hello Yummy, how you doing? Hey, what's the tablet you're using? I'm using a Cintiq 32. That's the tablet I'm using currently. This looks so cool. Thank you so much, Yummy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the photos, by the way, folks. I appreciate it. Alright, so we need the environment brush and we need some dirt heavy on the edge down here. If we can put that down. Like that. Actually, I don't know. I kind of like it when it's a bit darker, that tone actually. Maybe if I bring it to 90, like maybe not pure black, but some darkness. Unless, did I use, oh no, I did use pure black there. Okay, maybe I do stick with black then. Okay, I'll stick with that then. Right, and then we want to make some of the storefronts a bit darker actually. So let's set this. Like so. Brilliant, okay. So that's all filled in. Okay, and then we can do a slight gradient down there. Brilliant, okay, let's put that down there. Erase that out. Right, and let's do a white aura behind Larkin and Fletcher here. So let's go behind these characters and put like a white haze around them. And put around the boxes as well, just so they don't blend into the storefronts. Right, and then we can clean this up a little bit. I'm fine. How about you? I'm doing really well today. I feel very energetic, very alive. I don't feel tired at all, which is crazy. Like usually I feel really tired, but I'm not today. I feel fine today. So, no, I'm doing well, thank you. My cat is resting on the bed. I've got my cat on my bed at the moment. She's usually here when I live stream, my cat. But she rather just sleeps on my bed behind me. Sometimes she is a lap cat, but she doesn't usually jump onto my lap when I'm at my desk, so... Right, and I don't think we really need a sky. I mean, I can add a sky, I guess. I mean, the thing is, you're not going to see it really once it's cropped to page, but... where would it be? It's like monochrome, background... Yeah, it's like something like this we need. That'll be fine. Just turn that to 50 frequency. Yeah, that looks good. Definitely looks like it's the middle of the day, which is good. Right, let's save that for a second. I'm just going to quickly 3D preview this. Just to check that everything kind of looks like what it does on the previous page. What website did I start to drawing manga? Are you talking like publishing platforms or what application you're drawing? Because the application I'm drawing in currently here is Clip Studio Paint, and I heavily recommend it to manga artists to get Clip Studio Paint. It is like the program to have for manga artists. Is this your first manga that you creating? Yes, yeah, like yeah, it's technically my first like long manga series. I've done shorter comics in the past. By short comics, I mean like 4 pages or 8 pages long. This is like my first like proper long project, right? So yeah, programs as well. Yeah, Clip Studio Paint EX is what I'm using. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it looks good. The characters look consistent, which is what I really want. As long as the characters look consistent. Right, bring that down there. Let's do his hair first. Right, so let's put some shading down here at the bottom. Ooh, where's my pen? There we go. Right, let's put that down there. What program? Sorry, didn't hear. Clip Studio Paint. That's the program I'm using. Like clip, like in a paper clip, and then paint, and then oh no, yeah, Clip Studio Paint. I got the order messed up there for a second. Right, so that's the shading put down for that. Right, so let's put some highlights in his hair. Right, and then we can put some shading on his face here, so let's do that. Actually, we can just put his whole neck into 10. And then let's put his tie down as well. I'm losing my words here. It's coming to that point. It's like I live stream for 2 hours and I start like losing my voice a little. Right. Yeah, so if we select this, let's put the shading down there. Brilliant. Okay, and then where's the R30? Let's put it on the bottom of the eye down here. Brilliant. And then what else should we do? We could do the hands here, because there's not much 10% left to do really. Oh yeah, we need to put the newspaper on that part again. Gotta remember to do that. Please remind me, folks, if I forget. Let's put the 50 down here. Brilliant. Okay, let's select this. Let's put our 60 down. Hi Jaden, how are you doing? You have to buy it so you can use it. Yeah, you have to buy Clip Studio, unfortunately, or you can subscribe to it for a cheaper price. But I just buy the program outright for myself. Yeah, the app name is Clip Studio Paint, you're right. Why are you dots? Just curious? It's because it's screen toned. So the reason why you tend to see like dots in like manga and stuff, it's because when they print it out, it's pure black and white. So it's cheaper to print out. So that's why you see dots used in mangas, and that's why I'm using dots, because it's just cheaper to print out a book like that. So that's why my manga is printed out with dots, right? So there's a reason behind why dots are used. And it's just essentially for cheaper printing costs. But I do upload in grayscale on like Webtoon Canvas and stuff, just because it's just a bit easier to read when it's grayscale online. But yeah, when printing out, I use dots, but it's also why I shade in dots, because it needs to look readable in dots, the shading and stuff. I can see a spot I missed. Right, and that's 70 goes down there. Okay, so let's draw his shuttle. Yeah, it's quite an expensive program, but look, if you're really serious about drawing comics, it will be the best purchase you've ever made. I can guarantee that. It's worth saving up for if you're serious about making comics. Like, I had just like the standard version of Clip Studio for like 3 or 4 years before I upgraded to like the professional version, which is what I have now. How long does it take you to sketch each panel? Depends on complexity. For example, if I'm drawing like a background from reference, that takes me way longer than I like. Sometimes it takes me like 2 hours to sketch a background out. It's bad fix. But the characters not so much. I mean, on a good day, I can get a page sketched out in about 2 hours. Sometimes it takes me a bit longer than that though. But yeah, it depends on the complexity of the page and how many backgrounds there are. Yeah, it's usually between like 2 to 3 hours. Alright, put the shading down here. Bring that all the way down here. Make sure that's all tucked away. Brilliant. Bring that down there. That's the ponytail, so we'll bring that down here. Keep going, keep going. How much do you sell your manga? I sell my manga for $14.99 in Great British pounds. That's how much I sell my manga for. Please bear in mind, I am one single person. I do all the writing and all the art for myself. Hence why it might be a bit more expensive than like a normal manga volume. But it's high quality. My pages are very thick. The printing quality is really good. So the quality of my manga is a lot better than most manga that you see on the shelves. I have colour pages in my manga too, so... let's put that down there. Okay, I guess if we show you Larkin's face here. Let's put that down there. Do Do you have any programs that I can use for free now? Yeah, Medibang, you've got Critter. I used to use Critter before coming to Clip. There's a few programs out there that you can use. None of those programs would really have tools dedicated to manga production per se, but if you want to get into digital art on a computer, those are some free apps you can use. And that's on there. Okay, and then let's bring the 90 down there. Thank you so much for the follow, Puzzy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I started using Subsidiary this year. I'm freaking loving it. Yeah, I can't live without this program anymore, mate. I said it's honestly like I would not be able to live without it now. So I could never switch to another program. You know, you would have to do a lot of convincing to switch me to a different program now. Are you on Instagram? Yes, yeah, I am on Instagram. I am under the name Melody Elodie over there, instead of my actual name. So, so you can follow me on Instagram if that's your preferred platform to follow me on. I'm also on Twitter. I'm also on Blue Sky as well. These are like the main three I'm on, apart from TikTok. Right, let's put some shading down here. You can find all the links to all of these social platforms, by the way, on the link in my bio, if that's easier to find me. It's easier to find me through the link in my bio. Melody, yeah, exactly like that. Just in one word, that's all. Thank you so much, Daniel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your style is unique. Thank you. I said I try and make it stand out. I like to make it feel like a manga, but also still feel somewhat unique in its art style. So I'm glad you like it. Do you have a protection foil on the screen? No. I didn't have any screen protector on this Cintiq, which might be, I'm sure people are like, what? Why didn't you have like a screen protection on here? I don't like working with a screen protector. It's the same on the iPad. I do not like screen protectors when I'm drawing. They just feel odd to me, so I'd rather not use them. So I risk it all by not having a screen protector. Right, okay, so we need to get this newspaper back on here again. So let's copy this again. How are we going to do this? Need to bring this down here. Right. Technically this is slightly closer up than before. I think if we line that up and we'll just slightly warp this again, I think that should be fine. Like so. Keep adjusting it. And it can be just bunched up down there a bit. Keep bunching up slightly. There you go, that looks good. That's due. Okay, so if we select the newspaper again here. Let's mask that out. There we go. Okay, and then, oh, we missed this part here. Let's put that in. Brilliant. And then we want to add a bit more shading here because I didn't include all of it. There we go. Right, and then let's put my newspaper on a grayscale like that. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm just catching up with chat. I'm just looking over to my screen over here. Do you thinking to create another new manga? Yeah, in the future, I have a few manga ideas in the future. I mean, I don't think I'll start any quite yeah, brand new. Just because there's a few more story arcs for this that I'd like to do. But I do have other story ideas in the future. There's like 2 main ones I want to do in the future. But yeah, I just want to tackle this story first. But I mean, the first arc is going to end after this chapter, which is a really big goal to have the first arc finished after this chapter. But yeah, we've still got a few more stories with Larkin and Fletcher to go still. Oh yeah, I said I've also got a Discord server as well, folks. So if you want to join my Discord server, it's in the link in my bio. If that's an easier place for you two to meet. I do have a Discord server as well. You know, other people on the Discord also use like different programs. So I'm sure you can ask them as well for their recommendations. For something that's free. People don't understand the amount of patience you need for this. You earn my respect. Take care, bye. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It said, yeah, it takes a lot of work to get a manga page done. But no, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right, let me put this down here. Okay, we'll keep adding the shading onto just face. Also, I forgot to do the background for this, but I'll talk with this again. I'm just gonna get this face done for Fletcher here. Let's put the shadows down. Alright, and then we need shadows under his neck. Cool. And then I think we could just go black, honestly, for the colour. I know usually I do a gradient for his shirt, but just because it's such a close-up, we can just do black. And then we'll do 50 for his coat. Like so. Just make it simple. Alright, and then let's put that down there. Well, hey. Add some shading. Okay, and then we need his eyes to be 30 as well, so let's put that in. Even though there's tiny in this panel because he's a bit shocked. Right. Okay, let's work on the background for this. Let's look at this. Screen tones. Right, so we need this to be darker, like the front of the straw here, so let's do that. Maybe not as dark as that though, like something like that maybe. Right, let's keep shading that all in. Right, and how did I do the glare on the windows last time? Did I just do it in white? I have to remember here. Oh yeah, I did do it in white. Okay, so if I screen tone everything, actually, and the storefront, then I'll just go over with white. I'll keep it consistent for out here. Okay. If I select all of this, all the window panels. Right, okay. And then we need a white window glass. Let me get that ready. Like so. There we go. Right, and then we should probably do the ground here next. Like so. Right, if we bring that down, bring that across, let's get rid of the outside area for that. And then we'll put a white aura around the characters. Okay, so let's put a white aura around here. That should be enough. Actually, maybe we can do it slightly stronger around his face. Okay, so we just got this bottom panel left to screen tone, and then that should be the manga page done then. I say I've got this page really done very quickly, it feels like. I'm just going to preview it on the 3D previewer, just to make sure that everything looks right. It's just like you are to me. Eee. What's wrong with this? That's fine. I think the text reads fine on that. Yeah, I don't see any issues with line weight necessarily on that, so that's good. Okay, let's work on this bottom one then. Oh, I don't want my monitor to shut off. Let me just turn that on. Do that one. Thank you very much. Right, I'm just going to turn the effects off for this layer actually. This makes it a bit easier to draw underneath the screen tone layers. Like so. Okay, and then we use slightly stronger black under here. Okay, and then we use a 70. Right, let's put the effects back on there. Right, okay, let's put some shading in. How do you do that? How do you preview your manga? You need Clip Studio Experts. So it's a more expensive version of Clip Studio. But if you go here, export multiple pages, and you've got a 3D preview for binding here. You just press that, and that's how you do the 3D preview thing. Right, put some shading here. After you're done with all the manga, will you do you think they'll make them into an anime? No, it depends if an animation studio ever reaches out to me. I'm no good at animating myself, so I would probably never attempt to make a proper like animated scene myself. I'd love to have something like that, but my skills are really not in animation, unfortunately. But I'd love something animated from this. I mean, that would be the dream, right? Bring that down here. Alright, bring that down. Let's put some shadow down here. Cool. Okay, and then, we've got a newspaper here that we need to put in. But I will just quickly get all of the pleasure done first. Put shading down there, brilliant. Okay, let's select this. Let's put 20 down for the shading of the hair. Thank you so much for following, Richard. I really appreciate it. Alright, I'll keep going with shading in. Okay, let's turn that back on. Let's put the white highlight in. Right, okay, and let's put some shading under here. Let's draw the sweat lines. Right, okay, how are we gonna do the newspaper here? Let's think about this for a second. We need to copy this again. And we need to bring that down there. But I just kind of want some text in the back. I don't want necessarily the Bath Herald in the back. On the top of it, sorry. Let's think about this. How are we going to do this? Something like that. Okay. So if we warp this... Because again, no one's going to be able to read the actual newspaper itself when it's warped and blurred like it is, like this. Because it's absolutely tiny here. Okay, let's bring this downwards. Like so. Slightly hide everything. Let's keep warping it. Something like that. Maybe get away with something like that. Okay, let's select the newspaper again. Make sure we've got all the gaps covered here. Like so, let's go outside of that. Okay, and then I kind of want to blur this slightly just so some of the words aren't as obvious, so let's do that. Okay, maybe not that strong. It's like just slightly. It's got some sort of newspaper texture then. Okay. Let's bring that down that way. Right, and then we can have some shadows on like the front of him here. Like his body's producing a shadow on top of it. Thank you so much for all the follows, folks. Like I said, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you're enjoying my work. Yeah, hope you're enjoying being here. Alright, so let's select this. I don't think we need to do the heavy shadow like we did on that first panel with these boxes. We can just go with like a 50. Let's put that under there. Something like that. Let's put a shadow like down there as well. Actually, let's make it a slight gradient, like so. Something like that. Keeps it mystique. There we go. Okay, and then let's go in with 70 here for the actual fabrics in here. And I see we've missed some 30 in it. Let's put that in like that. Okay, and then how are we going to colour in Larkin here? So his trousers are going to be 60 down there. So let's put that in. Then put some shadow down there. Right, and then his bag strap, whilst we remember, is right there. So with his next scarf, let's put all the 50 in there, just to make our lives easier. What's the touchscreen thing? Is that? Is a Cintiq 32? Oh, it's on Webtoon. Yes, it is on Webtoon. It said if you want to read it, that's the most up-to-date place to read it is on Webtoon. I have all the pages apart from this one uploaded onto there compared to anywhere else. Is it? And this is also the final chapter for the first arc. So if you did want to read it, it's a really good time to go and read it if you're interested. Okay, so let's put in Larkin's hand now. I think that makes logical sense. Put that all in. Right, and then that goes down there. And then, of course, his eyes are also 70, so let's put some highlights in that. Brilliant. Right, just like that, and we'll put some shading into his hair now. Thank you so much for all the follows, folks. I really appreciate it. Also, I'm just seeing, I don't know if you guys can see that. I think I can see some leftover speed lines there, so I just need to rub that out once I get the chance to. Gotta remember that. Someone please remind me if I forget. Right, put that down. Right. Put that shading down there. Right, and then more shading down there, all the way to the back. Right, okay, and then we could just put some highlights into his hair then, like so. Well, hey. Okay, and then let's do his face here and his neck. That's going to be 10 under his... Oh, not white. 10 under his neck, please. Thank you. Now, keep on shading it all in. Right, Oh, and also I see I'm missing 50 pi here, so let's just put that back in. And then we kind of want some shading under his chin there. Right, so that's 90. And honestly, I know he has his plaid stuff on his vest, but I'm just going to put 70 there because it's so tiny. You're not going to really notice that he doesn't have plaid in that portion. Okay, and then it's just his coat. Let's do that. So that needs to be a gradient, so let's ram that up. All the way to be, as you know, darker than his hair, realistically, like that. Okay, and I don't think we need to do any shading for that. Okay, speed lines. I remember that there was one kind of hiding away at the top here. So let's get rid of that. Brilliant. I kind of want to get rid of this. I don't like it as much. I think we could just do like normal lines going out. Like so. And then also I want to change the line, because these are just like straight lines at the moment. I kind of want them to be like slightly drawn. So let's just change the brush step for this line. So the brush shape, we kind of want a textured look to it. So let's go over a pen or something. It just adds like a little bit of texture to these speed lines. And then I kind of want to group these less, so it's not as dramatic as I've made it out to be. Something like that. It's a bit easier. Like so. Okay, let me preview this before I say we're done. I might find a mistake here. The noises are so satisfying, thank you. And I don't know if you guys can hear me like draw on my Cintiq. But yeah, it's very satisfying to draw on. Although when you draw, it's not my full-time job, unfortunately. This is just my hobby. This is all my hobby. I don't earn nearly enough to make this my career, unfortunately, as much as I would like it to be. But no, here's not my job, unfortunately. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's nothing off when I'm flicking through the pages that feels off about this page. Everything seems fine to me. I don't think there's anything that off-puts me or doesn't feel right. Oh, actually, you know, I don't know. Maybe I can add some depression lines, maybe from Larkin's point of view. Let's see here. I don't know if that would look good or there's too many effects at that point. No, let's have a look here. Because we could add some lines like this. A bit to Larkin. Something like that. Let me preview that. It could be too many effects on that bottom panel. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Actually, I don't mind the lines there. I don't think it's too much. I could probably move the question mark though. So we can probably move that to somewhere else. Like we can have it on top of the depression lines here, as I call it. Something like that. I just give it a bit more room to flash over here. That's all. Or I can move this on top of the speech bubbles even. I could probably put it like that. Maybe tilt it that way. I can make it even a part of the speech bubble maybe. Like so. Maybe if I can push that to 10. Reduce this down slightly. Yeah, something like that. I think that'd make look even better actually. keeping it like that. I wonder if I can readjust this slightly. This is when I was kind of playing around to kind of just make it look a little better, folks. I don't know, I think I prefer it at the top. Like so. Bless me, oh my word. Sorry, folks. Yeah, something like that. I like that. Then it doesn't feel like it's too much like one area down there. Everything's kind of a bit more spread out. Okay, let's finally do a final preview and see if that's enough. What's your main work? I am a library assistant. I'm a part-time library assistant, and I also do freelance for as a scriptwriter for Webtoon project, which isn't out yet, and I'm under an NDA. So unfortunately I can't talk too much about that. But yeah, I got like 2 other jobs that pay me way more than my hobby, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just good. I'm happy with that. That looks consistent enough with my other pages as well. Yeah, I like it. That's a good page. I feel like all the dialogue comes quite nice around there. It's like good pacing too. I like it, I like it. I like the character faces a lot in this as well. Brilliant, I think that's the page done, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zombie. Yeah, and look, we're almost at the 2 hours and a half mark. It seems like 2 hours and a half is like the magic number to finishing off a manga page. It seems like on live stream. I don't know why that is. We always seem to finish around the 2.5 hour mark. But yeah, I said, I think I'm going to end it there, folks. So I'm just going to do my last spiel. If you like supernatural crime mystery mangas set in the Victorian era, or if you like manga like Kiss of Vanitas, Moriarty, Patriot, The Grey Man, series, stuff like that, like Black Butler, you'll probably like The Feast of Soul from Death. You can find links to read. Either you can buy a physical copy of Volume 1, which contains the first 6 chapters. You can find a link to my Etsy and my bio, or you can read online on Webtoon Canvas, which is where it's most up to date with the latest pages for chapter 12, or you can read it on Manga Plus Creators and Global Comics up to chapter 11 currently. We also have a Discord server, so if you want to find out when I'm next live streaming, I recommend joining the Discord server. Again, that's linked in my bio. If you want to join that community. Apart from that, folks, I think that's everything. I'll quickly check the comments to see if there's any comments left. What program are you using for this? I'm using Glitch Studio Paid EX. That's the program that I've been using for this entire page today. But yeah, I think if that's everything, folks, then I will be ending the live stream, and maybe I'll catch some of you in Discord later. But apart from that, if I don't see you until next stream, I'll see you guys all a little later, alright? See you then. Bye bye!